Good evening, children. Yes, children. Yesterday we have done the topic of rubber producing areas, cotton and jute, and today I am going to start with technological and institutional reforms. For today, my topic would be technical and institutional reforms. But before that, let more children join. Before that, I would like to just recapitulate the points which we have done previously. So my points are: sugarcane is tropical as well as subtropical crop. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane, only after Brazil. Different oilseeds are grown, covering approximately 12% of the total cropped areas of India. Tea is an important beverage crop, introduced in India initially by the British. Tea is a labor-intensive industry and requires abundant, cheap and skilled labor. Indian Arabica variety of coffee brought from Yemen is known in the world for its good quality. In 2015, India was the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world after China. In India, rubber is mainly grown in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Jute, which is known as golden fiber, grows well in well-drained fertile soils in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. So now children, I am moving to my current topic. My topic is technical and institutional reforms. So for that, firstly I am going to start with agriculture. Agriculture ensures food security for the country. Agriculture ensures food security for the country and produces several raw materials for industries. Agricultural development, therefore, is a precondition of our national prosperity. Remember this term? Agricultural development, therefore, is a precondition of our national prosperity. Means our entire India from centuries is totally dependent on agriculture. So to make our nation prosperous, we should be putting more and more emphasis on agriculture. Agriculture has been the mainstay of India's economy for 1,000 years. Constant use of land without appropriate techno-institutional changes. Constant use of land without appropriate techno-institutional changes has hindered means blocked or stopped, has blocked the pace of our agricultural development. most of the farmers in India or in the world, most of the farmers still depend on monsoons, natural fertility and seeds. Most of the farmers still depend on monsoons, natural fertility and seeds. Old methods of irrigation. What were the old methods of irrigation? Such as flooding of fields, use of Persian wheel for irrigation, wooden plough and bullock cart, etc. to carry on production. Means these were the methods which were used nearly before 1950s. These were the methods. And during the time of 1970s, 1980s, a lot of development has taken place in terms of agriculture. And when this new techniques have been applied in the field of agriculture, then the production has increased, but the productivity of some of the areas has declined. This has serious consequences. The use of the latest technicals and the other things, scientific knowledge, has certain serious consequences as agriculture. Even today, it is the most important means of livelihood. Means agriculture is the most important means of livelihood for about 61.5% of our population. There is an immediate need for implementing of technical and institutional reforms. So that's why there is an immediate need for the implementation of technical and institutional reforms in the field of agriculture. As we have talked also, or as it has been mentioned earlier, the right of inheritance created small and fragmented land holdings which are economically not viable. I tell you the meaning of this. It means that earlier in India, we used to have joint families. Later on what happened? Means when the system or when the fashion of nuclear families occurred. Now what was the drawback of that? The drawback was, for example, in your joint family, the area which you are having for agriculture, means you are having 5 bigha of land or 5 bighe of land. 2-3 brothers are there in the family. Now it is divided between them. So each one is getting nearly 2 bighe. After that what happens? Again, each son or each brother has got 1 bighe. Now when his family increases, just for example, if he is having 2 sons, what will happen? His 2 bighe will again divide into 1 part. Now what would be the reaction of this? By this what will happen? His production will increase or it will be of no use. So now, due to this division, due to this right of inheritance, it created small and fragmented land holdings, which is economically not beneficial. Means if you are having this, just think that you are having only 100 square feet as your residence. What is the benefit of that? That was the problem. So this system brought a lot of changes. This created problems after India became independent. Before independence, there was no problem. Joint family system was running. But after the independence, there came the system of nuclear families. Land reform. Now my next topic is land reform. Land reform was the main focus of India's first 5-year plan. After independence, in the first 5-year plan of India, land reform was the main focus. producing sufficient food for India's growing population became an important issue. Now, what was the target of the government? The target was that as the population is increasing, in the same manner, the production should also increase. Many land reforms were introduced by the government. Several land reforms were introduced by the government to improve the conditions of agriculture, or for the betterment of agricultural conditions and also of the farmers, some of which were abolition of Zamindari. One very positive change which was done in this land reform policy was the abolition of Zamindari system. Abolition of Zamindari. What is this? Means earlier the Zamindar used to be the head. He used to have the maximum areas. The farmers used to take a small amount of land by giving his property, by giving his land to the Zamindar. So that system came to an end. Collectivization and consolidation of land holdings. Now all the systems have changed. The abolition of Zamindari system, now measurement, consolidation, collectivization, all these things took place in land holdings. So now it was beneficial for all the villagers, for all the people. Now after introducing these land reforms, the government initiated agricultural reforms. After such kind of changes, after this land reforms, the government initiated agricultural reforms in the 1960s and 1970s. In the period of 1960s and 1970s, these reforms were introduced with a view to improve agriculture. The main purpose of bringing this reforms was to improve the standard of agriculture. The first one is the Green Revolution and the White Revolution. 2 points are here. The first reform was of the Green Revolution and the second one was the White Revolution, or it is also known as Operation Flood. They were initiated to bring about an improvement in the field of Indian agriculture. These two reforms, the Green Revolution and the White Revolution, were introduced for bringing an improvement in the field of Indian agriculture. The Green Revolution, if we talk about, the Green Revolution is a phrase generally used to describe the spectacular increase in the production of food grains in India. Either I say the word the Green Revolution or the word Harit Kranti. The Green Revolution, or in Hindi we call it Harit Kranti, is a phrase generally used to describe the spectacular increase in the production of food grains in India. Means in what manner the food grains are going to increase. And due to this reform, land reform, the Green Revolution, the production of food grains started increasing rapidly in India. These improvements too did not bring about the desired improvements. The government has made during that time, the government made the changes, but exact improvements or what planning was there, according to those plannings, these two reforms were not so successful. Development and improvement was restricted to a few areas only. What was the problem? The problem was that development and improvement was restricted to a few areas only. By the 1980s and the 1990s, by the year 1980s and 1990s, it became very clear that what was required was a comprehensive land development program. My point is, by the 1980s and 1990s, this point was very clear that the requirement was a comprehensive land development program which could comprise both institutional and technical reforms. Now, there was a need of institutional and technical reforms to bring the changes in that. To start this changes, technical and institutional changes, the government took the initiative by providing various facilities. To start this, the government took the initiative by providing various facilities on its own. The government started giving several kind of facilities to the farmers. Hence, the following institutions, certain institutions and technical reforms were implemented. Now, what kind of technical reforms or what kind of institutional reforms? As you can see, the institutional and technical reforms which took place during that time were, the first point is subsidy on electricity. My first point is subsidy on electricity. Purchasing seeds. Subsidy means to give some concession. Subsidy means if for the other people the rate is 90 rupees, then for the farmers the rate is only 50 rupees. That is a kind of subsidy. Subsidy on electricity, purchasing seeds and fertilizers to ensure farmers continue to improve agriculture. The main intention behind providing electricity, subsidy on electricity, on purchase of seeds, fertilizers, the main intention behind this, all this was to make it sure, to make the farmers continue to improve agriculture. Means the farmers should be more and more in concern. They should be paying more and more attention for the improvisation in their agriculture. So that's why the government started providing such kind of subsidies. Second point, consolidated and collectivized farms to make them economically viable. Consolidated and collectivized farms means if you are having different area, small lands in different parts of the village, then it all should be collectivized. Means all your land should be brought in one area. That was the benefit. If your entire area is in one zone only, then it is going to be beneficial for you. So that's why the consolidated and collectivized farms to make them economically viable. Third point is widespread use of radio. During that time, the radios have initially come in proper use. Widespread use of radio and television for acquainting farmers. Widespread use of radio and television for acquainting farmers in new and improved techniques of cultivation. In simple words, it means that with the aid of radio and television, the farmers can be told about several things in the improvisation. Those things which are needed for the improvisation in their agriculture. And during that time, children, especially during that time, 70s, 80s, 90s, only DD used to come. DD stands for Doordarshan. And on the Doordarshan, typical program used to come, Krishi Darshan. The name was Krishi Darshan. And in that only, all the important topics were shared with the farmers. And the farmers very willingly used to hold their radios and they used to listen to this important techniques of cultivation. Next point is, nowadays, last 15 years, these policies have been brought. Crop insurance to protect the farmers against the losses caused by crop failure. If any kind of natural calamity comes, means enough rainfall or drought or any such kind of thing, then the lands of the farmers are totally insured. Insurance is there. So this insurance protects the farmers against losses caused by crop failure. Special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for farmers on television and radio have been started. Next point, well-knit network of rural banking for farmers. Several banks are there in the villages, many corporate banks were there, which were meant especially for the farmers in the village areas. They were being opened by the government to help the farmers so that the farmers can easily get the loan for making their agriculture modern, for the improvisation of their agriculture. The farmers can get the loan, and the percentage of loan was very less. See this point, the percentage of loan was very, very less. Announcing minimum support price for the crops grown by farmers, means whatever crop production takes place, the government decides the rate, means that 18 rupees nowadays in this season the wheat rate was 18 rupees. It was decided by the government, means the farmers can, if they are selling it to the government, they will be getting 18 rupees per kg. But if they are selling it to some other one, it might happen that they may get only 16 rupees, or that they may get 20 or 22 rupees. Means the government has purchased at the rate of 18 rupee. So that was the benefit. Means if you are not having any customer, then the government is there to purchase all your production. Remunerative and procurement prices for important crops to check the exploitation of farmers by the speculators and middlemen. Now I tell you this point. This point is remunerative and procurement prices for important crops to check the exploitation of farmers by the speculators and middlemen. Now this line means that the farmer, means the exact farmer who is doing the production, he is selling his product. Just example, I am giving the example of tomato at this moment of time, tomato or onion. The farmer is selling to the middleman at the rate of rupees 3 or 4. I am talking about onion, and the middleman is selling it. The middleman is forwarding it to the shopkeeper in the market at the rate of rupees 8 or 6. He is just purchasing it at the rate of rupees 4 and is forwarding it in the market at the rate of rupees 8 or 9. And the person who is purchasing it at the rate of rupees 8 or 9. So at what rate he will sell? He will be selling the product minimum at the rate of rupees 13. I am saying minimum. Why? The answer for this why is because the last purchaser is the shopkeeper. He cannot keep that product. He cannot keep that particular onion for a longer duration of time because it needs space and there may be the chances of getting destroyed also. So that's why he is ready to sell it at the rate of 13, 14. And who is the biggest, which person is in the biggest loss? Yes, children, tell me, who is the biggest loser? Who is the biggest loser in this field? Yes, children, tell me, who is the biggest loser? Type your answers fast. Priya, Manika, Anushka, Katyani, Saurabh, Satyendra, Snigdha, Siddhant, Sahil, Shlok. I am waiting for your answer, children. Yes, the correct answer that after all these three people, the person who is in the biggest loss is the farmer. Why? Because he is getting only rupees 3, whereas in the market his own product is being sold at the rate of rupees 13. So for 1 kg he is in a loss of rupees 10. So just think, if it in 50 or 60 quintal, then what would be the condition? Now, on the other side, for the improvisation of all these aspects, so that means that's why the government is ready to purchase it from the producer only. Means the government is ready to purchase it directly from the farmer only. That's why our department, that is FCI, Food Corporation of India. Food Corporation of India, FCI, is the department which purchases the products from the farmers at the decided rate by the government. In this, the benefit is that the farmers directly get the amount. That is not that whether they will get the amount or not, such kind of problems are not there. So, just for improvising the conditions, the government has taken, and in this, all this 3 people gave, the maximum profit was being earned by the middleman. The maximum profit was being earned by the middleman without doing anything. Without doing anything, he is getting the complete profit. So, just for improvising the standard of agriculture, government started providing KCC, that is Kisan Credit Card. The government started providing Kisan Credit Card and the Personal Accident Insurance Scheme. Now, what is this KCC, Kisan Credit Card? Means on the basis of your land, for example, if you are having 2 bighe or 4 bighe, means whatever amount of land you are having, on the basis of that, a credit card. In the cities, we people call it credit card. In the villages also, in the same manner, you will be getting the credit card, and the farmers can take the loan. Farmers can take the amount from that. And what is the benefit? After one season means here for after 5-6 months, then they have to pay the interest, and the rate of interest is very high. You know how much? Nearly 0.5. The rate of interest is 0.5. That is the amount. And if before the fixed time, if you make it, if you return it back, then no interest is there. And during that year, if any kind of natural calamity occurs, then you don't have to pay the amount also. The government is going to cancel that amount. Means such kind of benefits are there. Now, my next point is contribution of agriculture. My next point is contribution of agriculture towards national economy, employment and output. My point is contribution of agriculture towards national economy, employment and output. Now children, as you can see, one chart is there. So according to this chart, I would like to tell you, there is a decelerating growth rate in agriculture. It is also, this point is very obvious, that the gross domestic product, GDP, it is very obvious that the GDP growth rate is increasing. GDP growth rate is increasing, but enough employment opportunities are not being generated in the country. GDP is increasing, but employment opportunities are not increasing the share of agriculture. I'm talking about the share of agriculture. The share of agriculture in the GDP. The share of agriculture in the GDP shows a declining trend 1951 onwards, which is an alarming situation. The Indian farmer finds himself in a strange situation. They are facing competition against the farmers of other countries who are given huge subsidies. The farmers of other countries are given huge subsidies. The Indian farmer is facing reduction in public investment in agricultural sector. Remember my point? The Indian farmer is facing reduction in public investment in the agriculture sector. This is evident in irrigation, roads, power, markets, which directly affect the farmers. The areas are irrigation, roads, power, markets, etc., which directly affect the farmers. There has also been a decrease. There also has been a decrease in subsidy and reduction in import duties on agricultural produce. Okay. This has created a detrimental situation. This thing has created a detrimental situation for the Indian farmer who wants to shift from agriculture to other sector. Now what the farmers are doing nowadays also, years back also, the farmers are ready to sell out their land. Means if they are having good amount of area, they are ready to sell out. You can see in Lucknow itself, Shahid Path, the Vrindavan Yojana, or all the areas like Walmart and all those colonies, all of them belong to the farmers. All of them were belonging to the farmers. But the farmers have sold them out. Why? Because in one bulk only, in a single bulk, they are able to get the money. Whereas there was no surety that whether in agriculture they would be able to earn the profit or not. So that's why those people have sold out their conditions, means their lands. This gives rise to another problem: downfall in employment in agriculture. Now what is the other problem? Downfall in the employment of agriculture. Farming is infested with problems. Farming is related with problems and farmers are tensed. You would have studied or you would have read in the newspapers that many of the farmers have committed suicide. Many of the farmers have committed suicide. You would have read it in the newspapers. Why do you think farmers are committing suicide in many parts of our country? I'll tell you the reason. Agriculture has been and still is the backbone of Indian economy. Every effort was hence made to modernize and improve this sector. Agricultural universities, veterinary services and animal breeding centers, horticulture development, research and development in areas of weather forecast, establishment of Indian Council of Agricultural Research were set up to modernize agriculture. The rural infrastructure and support system was also improved. Means the government has taken several steps. But one reason is there, the main point, that why the farmers are committing suicide in many parts of the country, whether it is Gujarat, whether it is Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, any state. I tell you the reason. The reason is that in agriculture, In agriculture, there is no surety. In agriculture, there is no surety that whether the production of this year, that whether the production of the current year will be good or bad. You cannot think of your future also. So many a times due to the natural calamities, or several kind of diseases or insects or such kind of things, the production level is decreasing. The farmers are putting their level best efforts. They are taking the loans from the banks. They are using their Kisan credit card, loans, all the things. Yes, Siddharth Tiwari, your answer is very correct. Because the farmers are not getting proper money due to the middleman, and also when there is crop failure, they come in debt and commit suicide. In the cities also, you would have seen that nowadays what is the condition? People whosoever have taken the loans during this period, during this epidemic period, the people are not able to revert back, or they are not able to pay back their interests or their amount. So they are going in great depression. The same thing goes with the agriculture also. If the farmers have taken the loan, the middlemen are earning the profit, and the main person who puts the maximum effort, the farmer, is not getting the required result, the required profit. So only one thing happens: his entire or her entire family is dependent on agriculture only. And if the agriculture level is decreasing, then what he can do? Except your suicide, there is no other option. Because if you have taken the loan from the bank is not going to leave it like that only. In place of that, the bank will take away your land, because you have taken the loan on that piece of land only. So that's why the farmers, means maximum people, have shifted from agriculture. They have not shifted, you can easily say. You can say that they are selling out their lands to those people, those who are the big builders, or to the other high tycoons, so that at once only they get the amount and they are doing some other work. So children, for today this much only topic. Now one question was being asked. I have not given the answer. Sir, what is PACE? That is Personal Accident Insurance Scheme. The farmers, they take, for the farmers, especially in the field of agriculture, there is a system of accidental insurance. If you have taken the accidental insurance, and if you die, then a fixed amount of money will be given to your family. Now, in the cities also, the system have started from the last few years. For example, if you are opening a new account, especially SBI, if you are opening a new account in any bank, then you can take the insurance of 1 year. You can have the insurance of 1 year, and that amount is very low. Means only 60-70 rupee you have to pay for that. That is the point. That is the term. So that is clear now. Now children, so I should start the quiz. I'll be asking today only 6-7 questions. Okay, so only 6-7 questions today I am having. Means I am having a lot, no problems there. Now because the time is only 7 minutes are left. So now let's move to the next question. My first question. Children, my first question is, which of the following is an annual crop? Which of the following is an annual crop? Option A, sugarcane. Option B, cotton. Option C, jute. Option D, cucumber. Send your answers fast. Others also, Priya, Snigdha, Siddhant, Pushpendra, Anirudh. Send your answer. Yes, total 4 people have sent their answers. I am waiting for you to send your answer. Yes, others. Send your answers fast, children. Okay, so nearly 5-6 people have sent their answer. And the answer for this question is option A. That is sugar cane. The answer is sugar cane. Okay. Now the next question. The next question is, which of the following is known as coarse grain? Which of the following is known as coarse grain? The options are wheat and rice, option B millets, jowar, bajra and ragi, pulses, urad, arhar and gram, D oil seeds. What's the answer? Yes, children, give the response fast. Yes, Priya, good. Others? Yes, Priya, your answer is correct. Yes. Satyendra Avasthi, look the question again. Correct answer, Snigdha. Okay, children. So the answer is option B, that is millets, jowar, bajra and ragi. So then firstly read the question, then give the answer. Because the first answer you have deleted. Now, the next question. The next question is, which of the following crops is used both as a food and a fodder? Which of the following crops is used both as a food and a fodder? Good, Priya. Good one. Others also try to be fast like Priya. Good. Correct answer, Snigdha, Siddhant, Priya. Other children? Satyendra Avasthi, Saurabh Shukla, Anirudh. Okay, so answer C. Now children, let's move to the other question. The fourth question for today. India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of which of the following crops? India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of which of the following crops? Option A, rice, option B, millets, option C, pulses and option D, oil seeds. Think and then give the answers. Saurabh Shukla, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Think it first, then give the answer, children. Yes, Priya, your answer is correct. The answer of Priya is correct. Anirudh, Snigdha, all the thing. So then, read the question again and then. As I taught you day before, in the last class only, last to last class, about this product, about this crop, that is pulses. The correct answer is pulses. So children, for today, this much only. We'll be meeting in the next class with the remaining part of